All right, so they will have to do something special to take down the defending champions in Arrowhead, who have slowly but surely been creeping up in their quality of play as well in Kansas City. Jason, let's start with you. How can the Dolphins essentially use the word shock the Chiefs on Super Wildcard Weekend?
You hate to see that graphic with so many injuries.
Seriously.
Jerome Baker was a guy that just got back from injury, and then he made a huge play in that Buffalo game at the end of the first half, and now he's out. Van Ginkel. There's so many guys that have just fallen to the wayside due to injury, and that's just part of the year for so many NFL teams. Everybody's banged up. Everybody's going through things. For this Miami Dolphins team, though, it starts and it ends, to me, with the quarterback position and Tua Tagovailoa. What we watched from him all season long has been terrific. His numbers, he's leading the NFL in passing yards, getting the ball to Tyreek Hill, Waddle, and all of those things. When you get to playoff times and you're trying to make a Super Bowl run, it comes down to a lot of times a 2-minute drill. Whether you're on defense and you're trying to win the game and continue to keep the lead, or whether you're behind in an opportunity to take the lead and win the game. This was the game Sunday night. This is Buffalo. They're down 7. Tua gets the ball back. There was 1:53 left on the clock. You got to go out there and make something happen for your team. He throws an interception to Taylor Rapp. So much is talked about the Dolphins. They haven't been able to beat good football teams. They've been in games. They've had opportunities to close those games out. They haven't finished those games. This was a game they let slip by from the Tennessee Titans. There was 1:45 left. They were down just a point. Tua gets the ball, you have to be able to do something and make something happen. That was a 4th down sack that ends this game and their inability to win this one, where now we're looking at them going on the road in the wild card game. And this was a game back in Germany. This is when they played the Chiefs for the first time this season. Came all the way back. They're down 7. A terrific game. 2 minutes and 28 seconds left on the clock, and Tua drives them. He gets them down the field, and it comes down to a 3rd and 10 right here where he has Cedric Wilson open, just throws a lollipop. And then on 4th down, he drops the snap. There's been nobody that has championed Tua more than me in the sports media. I've talked about how much he's grown, his abilities, his leadership, everything that he's done on this team to lift himself up from his first few years in the NFL to show that he can be a quality and a really good NFL quarterback. It's going to come down to these moments late in the game, a wild card, going to win on the road in the defending Super Bowl champ's house. In order to do so, Tua may have the ball with the last possession in his grasp. What he does with it is going to determine the Miami Dolphins season.
I love it. And I love your confidence in Tua, because you see those situations and you say, well, he just can't get it done. Well, that's not true. He can't get it done until he does get it done and does make the play. And I would say in the Dallas game, he led them all the way. And yeah, it was a field goal at the end, but that's what it took to win. You also said that of all the people in sports media, you've been Tua's biggest champion. I kind of put a tweet out there yesterday saying this, and I mean it. There's a way to, how do I do this? There's an algorithm. There's a way to jigger the algorithm a little bit and come out and say, when things are going good, like, I think the Dolphins are a team to watch, and here's why. And a Dolphins fan base that hasn't had national media love, they'll cling to that and say, yes, tell us, please, person on television, tell us why we're so good. That was the case all season. You know, the Tyreek MVP talk, the Tua MVP talk, Dolphins #1 seed, Dolphins unbeatable, the McDaniel love, and everyone in our world was on this Dolphins bandwagon of sorts. That bandwagon's empty right now.
Quiet.
A dust ball just blew through the alleyway of that bandwagon, and you're looking up and down the aisles, and there's no one there anymore. And to Dolphins fans watching, I would say this: good. You don't want Johnny-come-lately. You want it to be you guys, the ones who have been there through all the bad times, through all the losing seasons. And I almost think the Dolphins team needs to look at each other and say the same thing and say, we've got nothing to lose. There are no expectations. Everyone is pointing to the injuries. Everyone's looking at us going into Arrowhead. Everyone is saying that we don't have a shot. So what can we do to limit Mahomes and find a way to sneak one out of this thing in Kansas City? And to me, it's not the passing game, and it's not just relying on Tyreek. It's the running game. I watched this Buffalo game, and in the first half, I thought McDaniel was on fire with the play calls. They were doing all sorts of misdirections, sweeps, tosses, and Buffalo couldn't stop it. Yeah, Josh Allen threw a couple turnovers in the red zone. Miami capitalized. They ran the ball. They controlled the clock. It felt like Buffalo wasn't even on the field. Achane running up and down. Wilson doing his thing. They were blocking despite injuries all over the offensive line, injuries all over the field. And they had this touchdown. You're like, this is what they got. Look at what happened here. Now, I understand it's all about circumstance, and there's a game script to start the thing, and then it goes off the rails based on what the injuries were. We're talking about 17 rushing attempts in the first half to 3 in the second half. And it's no coincidence the game got out of their hands. They lost, and Josh Allen found a way to get this thing done. We'll talk about this game throughout the week, but I would put it out there on Tuesday morning. Dolphins fans, we always say this. Nobody believes us. I'm telling you, nobody believes me. Nobody. So use that as fuel. Use that as motivation. And it's okay to win a game 23-20 with your running back having 120 yards and 30 carries. That's how you used to win with Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams and a lot of those guys back in the day. That is not embarrassing, even if you're this high-powered offense. I think you have to limit the possessions and rely on what was working last week and the first half of the game. It's amazing to say get the ball out of Tyreek's hands or out of Tua's hands, but sometimes it's got to be the stuff that's going to win the game. And in that case, they had that game in Buffalo, and they went away from it.
Well, isn't the Mike McDaniel special, too? Like, he was a run game specialist.
Yeah.
So, like, he's got it all in his arsenal. Speaking of Tyreek Hill, this is the ultimate, like, sexy matchup that we were all looking forward to, and then it was taken from our clutches in August when we found out that Dolphins-Chiefs was going to be played in the regular season in Germany, which Jason got to bear witness to. Now, Dolphins probably don't look at it like this, but it's a gift to have this game be played in Kansas City. Kyle, Tyreek Hill has been targeted more than a dozen times in the last 3 weeks. He's catching like half the balls at this point. There's got to be a lot of reliance on him.
I would hope so. It's just for the theater of it. I'll give you theater. Like Peter's talking about, nobody believes in the Dolphins. Who exactly believes in the Chiefs right now? Let's be honest, guys. This is the worst Chiefs team in 6 years, maybe 7 years. How did the Dolphins shock them? First of all, I don't think it's going to be a massive shock. This is not like some 16 seed playing a 1. It's not that at all. How do you beat them? You score 30 points. Score 30 points, and the Chiefs will not be able to keep up. In the Mahomes era, they've hit 30 points in a season 8 times, 9 times, 12 times 30 points. This year, they've done it 3 times. That's it. 3 times against 3 terrible teams. The Dolphins have done it 8 times, including twice in December. Chuck one deep to Tyreek, score a couple other touchdowns, get to 30. I don't think the Chiefs can keep up with that. Get in a shootout with Patrick Mahomes and Arrowhead. Sounds crazy? Not this year. You're just going on past years. Pay attention to the 2023 Chiefs. How do you limit Mahomes? Like, his huddle will take care of that. The Dolphins don't even need to do it. His own huddle will limit Mahomes. They've been doing it for 4 or 5 months. Rashee Rice is really good. I haven't seen Kelsey in, I feel like, a year. And the other guys, who knows? Score 30 points. Mike McDaniel, I don't need 40. I don't need 70. Get to 30 points. I think you'll win this game, and I don't think it's a shock.
It's a good point. It's a good point, Kyle. Jason, if you were inside that defensive room with you said, like, the list of injuries has got to be so frustrating, knowing how the Chiefs have been playing. How do you go about disrupting an offense that is already kind of not eroding, but is uncomfortable right now?
For Vic Fangio, this is going to have to be a masterclass of just coaching, because it's not just, you lose a guy, the next man up. You watch that game, Van Ginkel goes down with an injury. Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips are already out. Cameron Good, a young guy, comes in. Then he goes out and he gets hurt on punt team. McDaniel said it, at some point throughout the course of this week, they're going to be playing guys in a wild card playoff game on the road that they get off the street this week possibly, because they're out of bodies. That's the tough thing for them. So as a defensive player, you just got to rally around, and it's just like, let's just go out there and compete. Yep. There's going to be guys out there that weren't playing a few weeks ago that are going to be out there on the field. Melvin Ingram bumped up from practice squad, playing a ton of snaps in this game.
The shame of it is last year they were red hot in October and November, and then Tua got hurt, and there was injuries everywhere. And they had Skylar Thompson, a third-string quarterback, and he played his butt off. Toe-to-toe with Buffalo. And he went right into Buffalo, and he competed. So it's not like this team hasn't had we're so injured and we haven't. Yep. They get it. This is what it is. And it's just odd that it happens 2 years in a row for Miami, that they're the hobbling team going into the playoffs. Well,